Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 137 of Crunch Time. I'm going to be your host of today's episode. I am Tanner Dislin. As always, I am joined by Sam Godsey, and we are the N326 duo. Sam, how are we doing today, my friend?
Man, I'm doing all right. The Olympics are underway. So pretty exciting time. I know you're not a huge fan of them, but it's cool seeing a bunch of countries come together and compete on this stage. Other than that, not a whole lot going on in the sports world.
Exactly. Although today, the day of recording on Tuesday, just a couple hours ago, was the MLB trade deadline. So we'll have a quick little recap, some of the bigger names moving there. Um, and yeah, some Olympics talk. We're going to talk a little bit about receiver. Both of us have finished that TV show, talk a little bit about our top receivers in the NFL. And then, of course, finish out with, or do a give me five first. Do a give me five. This time we're doing give me five of the worst characters of all time in TVs and movies. So that should be an interesting one. And then we wrap up with questions as always. But before we get into all of that, we are returning two winners and losers for this episode. So Sam, who is your winner?
Yeah, my winner is gonna be a name that might sound familiar, and you're probably wondering why I'm even talking about him, and that is Chase Budinger. Uh, he was a solid role player for years in the NBA. One of those guys when you're sitting around with your boys naming random players, his name definitely pops up. But I'm not talking about his basketball game today because he is at the Paris Olympics after playing basketball. He transitioned to becoming a pro in beach volleyball, and him and his partner teammate got their first dubs in his Olympic debut. So super cool seeing that transition from NBA to a Olympic athlete, which is insane.
Yeah, man. Shout out Chase Budinger. Definitely, like you said, an absolute naming random players with your boys legend. What team comes to mind when you think of Chase Budinger?
T Wolves.
T Wolves. Yeah, yeah, it's probably. I mean, obviously, the only other one that would really come up would be Rockets. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's that's shout out Chase Budinger, man. That rocks. Congrats. You said he medaled.
No, it's still going on.
Oh,
Just won the first his first match, which is crazy.
got it. So he's already won a match, and yeah, spent a lot of time in the NBA. Shout out Chase Budinger. That's kind of cool. But for my winner, I'm gonna try and get through it without throwing up in my mouth. But it's got to be the highest paid player in the history of the NFL, and that is Jordan Love. When he signed his extension last weekend or the weekend that just passed, he signed a 4-year, $220 million contract extension. Now, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say whether or not I like it or not. There is something crazy. Like I know highest paid quarterbacks, highest paid players changes all the time because
Mm-hmm.
cap is only going up. The NFL is only getting new TV deals. It's only getting more revenue. So everything just keeps going up. We all know this. So it'll probably last for a year, if that.
If that, yeah.
But it is kind of crazy that starting for 1 year, struggling heavily in the first half, and then having a good end to the season, going 9-8 in your first year starting, makes you
Yeah.
the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, that's me hating on Jordan Love." That's not it at all. Jordan Love looked awesome down the stretch of the season. Definitely looked like he could be a damn good quarterback. But all I'm doing is stating facts that he went 9-8 in 1 year starting, and now is the highest paid player in NFL history.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. But shout out him. He got the bag.
Yeah.
Gotta respect it.
Yeah, you gotta respect it for sure, but absolutely crazy.
No doubt about it. But we'll switch over to the losers. Sam, who is your loser of the episode?
Yeah, for my loser, we're going to dive into a sport we usually don't talk about a whole lot here, and that's the UFC.
Mm,
UFC 304, highlighted by Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad, was the main event. And before, during pre fight press conferences, the lightweight competitor, King Green, proposed $100,000 bonus for the event. So post match performance bonuses basically. And Dana White, the commissioner, was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Um, so there were 28 fighters competing on the card. There were 9 total decisions. So that means there's no submission or knockouts
okay.
in 9 of the fights in 7 consecutive straight decisions. So there were 7 fights that were decided by the 3 referees.
So, AKA boring as hell.
Boring as hell. I actually watched this card, and Dana White was pissed. He said, "I think tonight showed that we should not give out bigger bonuses. Upping them doesn't change anything, doesn't make anybody fight any harder. It doesn't change anything. I'm not doing this again ever. Today was the last day I'm doing that." So UFC 304, definitely was a big L. Is in Manchester. Paddy Pimblett did get a dub, which was pretty cool, but it was also at like,
Oh my, I don't want to see that.
oh, oh, dang! It looks like she just got in a UFC fight. Uneven bars. This lady took a tumble.
She slipped off, and that looked nasty.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
oh
crazy.
man.
Anyway, so yeah, UFC 304, big loser of this week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I got much to add, but yeah, I mean, no knockouts, just trading a few punches, and then having 3 people say, "Yeah, this person won,"
Yeah,
which I'm sure everyone on the internet agreed with who won. Right?
yeah, of
There
course.
was no debate, and no, the fix was in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess that would suck if you're there for some
Yeah,
knockouts. No doubt about it. But Sam, my loser, it's both of mine are going to be contract related, and it's no. I would like to start this by stressing it is definitely not time to panic, but it's got to be the Dallas Cowboys. Some
yeah,
contract scenarios going on here. So CD Lamb is the big one. Obviously, does not have a new contract with the Cowboys. Has not yet reported to camp. Looks like he will be holding out as they try and negotiate a contract there. But he's not the only one who is due for a contract soon. The other two being Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott. So 3 pretty damn important players to that Cowboys team that had such a great season last year. Such a great regular season last year. So that's tough. That's tough. And any type of contract negotiations are brutal, especially when they're your best players. But when you got to 3 of them,
yeah,
not great. Not great.
yeah, not great.
Cowboys are in a tough spot.
Obviously, being a Cowboys fan, this kind of pisses me off because, I mean, this offseason has been absolutely terrible for the Cowboys. Derrick Henry has come out and said he thought the Cowboys were a perfect fit for him. We didn't even go after him. It's where CD Lamb's upset, Micah Parsons is upset, and Dak Prescott is obviously, like you said, in contractual negotiations. And everyone knows Dak Prescott is going to be the guy that gets overpaid. I mean, I think with Jordan Love, it's going to be around that number, which I don't think he deserves at all. And I would not be surprised if we see CD Lamb or Micah Parsons not in a Cowboys uniform here in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Because this is the more time this goes on, it's just weakening the relationship between the Cowboys and the two individuals. So
you're predicting paying the not top 5 player at his position
Mm-hmm.
because he's a quarterback, and then
Yep.
letting the two.
He's the most important, so we're gonna overpay him, and yeah, that's my prediction. Uh, but I don't really think he deserves it. But I also don't think Jordan Love deserves
That's
that.
interesting. Yeah, I was
So
gonna say like I think I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Jordan Love. So
yeah,
there's that.
yeah,
But I guess that just supports paying him more money
mm,
than the president. That's already been
exactly.
set. So yeah, rough spot for the Cowboys. Definitely deserving of a loser. I think the news broke about CeeDee Lamb, at least certainly since our last recording. So got to update on the contract talks. But football is right around the corner, right around the corner, and yeah, I can't wait. I'm sure you can't wait either. But should we get into some Olympic talk?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So yes, the Olympics have been going on. There are a few things over already. Obviously, we've already got our running medal count, which I don't know if you've kept tabs on it. You know who's got the most golds? Pop quiz.
I'm looking at.
Ah,
I pulled the yeah,
yeah. So Japan
shocking.
with the most golds. How do you usually sort this? Are you at most golds or most total type of sort guy?
I feel like it should be most golds. I feel like the
Too.
people with the most golds are winning, but I get why they keep count of all because it just makes sense. But according to what I assume this is just Google's, it seems like they rank by golds as well. So
Yep. So Japan in first right now. Shout out the Japanese. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so I mean, the headliner, of course, for us here is Team USA had its first game on Sunday, and they took on Serbia, of course, who has Nikola Jokic.
basketball, of course.
What?
You mentioned it's basketball, but
Oh, that's
you
on
know
me.
there were a lot of Team USA's going around, so just wanted to.
In my mind. I was thinking basketball the whole time. I forgot to say it. Yes, the basketball team started off. They played their first game on Sunday, and they played Serbia, who has arguably the best player in the world on their team in Nikola Jokic. And Team USA, specifically in the second half, just took them to school, absolutely dominated this game and won. I guess I don't have this. Was it
one
20?
110 to 84.
110 to 84, 26.
Yeah.
So that's some dominance. And I mean, obviously, there are tons of storylines from this game. We'll get into them a little bit. I think first we got to talk about the Slim Reaper, man. What a game by KD. He was absolutely lethal, as we know he can.
Had 21 points in, I want to say, 8 minutes, I think is what he shot. He only missed one shot. Everyone talks about who's the best scorer of all time. It's Kevin Durant. He he's a 7 foot guard who can shoot lights out. It's unbelievable what this man does. Um, and there's an argument you can make that he's not even the best player on the team, which is insane to talk about.
That's so funny about this because you look at Kevin Durant, we're talking about the best scorer. He moves like a guard, he shoots like a guard. He's the height of a center. But yeah, he's probably he might not be the best player on Team USA, and he's not the best shooter on Team USA.
Yeah.
That's just how stacked
Yeah.
this freaking team is. But yeah, Kevin Durant was awesome, and he did it in such vintage Kevin Durant ways where you're watching it and you just can do nothing but laugh. He's hitting contested threes. I mean, he hit one over Jokic. Fully contest doesn't matter. KD's the Slim Reaper wingspan plus his 6'11",
Yeah.
frame. He can shoot over anybody. He's taking people off the dribble and shooting little fadeaway jumpers over people. Unbelievable. Yeah, just
he's a dog.
From KD. And oh yeah, and he was hurt and didn't practice, and this was his first game.
Yeah.
And he just shows up, takes Serbia to school. So yeah, KD was incredible. LeBron, of course,
unbelievable.
a man among boys.
The things he does at his age in every level aspect of the game is insane to me.
Pure greatness. Pure greatness. That's all you can talk about at this point. Another great performance from LeBron. I know he had 20 plus, and yeah, he was excellent as well. But quite possibly my favorite storyline from all of this. Of course, there were two players on Team USA that did not log any minutes, them being Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum. Now, one of those two may make more sense than the other.
Kevin Durant had 23. Bye.
23.
So
But one of those two names, in Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum, might make more sense than the other. But it was one of those moments because the game wasn't all that sweaty. USA was kicking their ass. I mean, it was an all-time Twitter stretch for those of you on NBA Twitter with the I think my favorite one was that Jason Tatum passed out 400 cups of Gatorade, breaking Thanasis Antetokounmpo's record.
I saw that.
Just all-time great stuff. But yes, Jason Tatum did not play.
Yeah.
Neither did Tyrese.
Tyrese. I mean, is he the worst player? That's
Yes.
Arguments can be made about that. I think the guy I'm looking at is Derek White.
He's the okay. That's fair. I think. Yeah. I mean, we just call it what it is. I'd rather have Tyrese Halliburton than Derek White on NBA basketball.
But I think Derek White plays his role on this team.
He's needed.
But back to
least valuable. So.
Back to the Jason Tatum. I mean, you have LeBron playing amazing. You have Devin Booker playing really well. You have KD playing phenomenal. You have Ant hoping. Like, where do you... There's no need.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy. The finals MVP was not needed, and we still won by 26. Or, never mind. My bad, Jaylen Brown. Yeah, sure. But it's like, I don't understand why this is a big of a story as it is.
I do think it is a little peculiar in like a 20-plus game that he didn't get run in the fourth quarter just to keep
garbage minutes.
Yeah. Garbage minutes, which, on a Team USA team, it's garbage minutes is, not what it usually is, but I do think it's a little peculiar. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, my Sunday was incredible. Team USA kicked ass. The storylines from it were Joel Embiid is a liability. Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton weren't able to get in the game. I mean, this was awesome for a Knicks fan. That was freaking incredible.
I'm sure you enjoyed that.
I was having a great time with the storylines. But anyway, I do think it is a little peculiar, but as you mentioned, like it's the memes were hilarious, but other than that, I just don't really care.
Yeah, right.
What is it? Kerr and Spoelstra conspiring against the Celtics. No.
Derek White played.
What?
Derek White played.
Derek White played a lot of minutes because he's a valuable player to this team. And
Drew Holiday
started.
Yeah.
You talk about there's a lot of redundancy in Team USA because in the NBA the best players are usually your scorers, and when you have Kevin Durant, when you have all the guys you mentioned before who are playing great basketball, Jason, I guess maybe the argument can be made for Devin Booker, but Devin Booker is the better spot up shooter.
Yeah.
So if you don't need someone who's gonna make plays off the bounce and stuff. I'd rather have Devin Booker to just straight up catch and shoot because he's better than Tatum at that. So he's not better than anyone at any offensive. He's just going to get pushed aside. Like he's better than Halliburton, but similar to Halliburton, where he doesn't play that D, 3-and-D or most in terms of USA, mostly D like Drew Holiday and Derek White. So he's just not going to play because they're the scorers. There are so many of them, and the other people are just better at it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But it was absolutely hilarious. And I loved it. I loved the memes, and yes, Team USA looked awesome.
Yeah.
As always. But we got some other sports, gymnastics. So women's have already won gold.
Yeah.
Right? I just, as Sam mentioned, me personally, not that big of an Olympics guy. I haven't watched that many. I also just get so confused for something like gymnastics. Like, I remember opening ceremonies happened like not long ago, and they're already in.
Yeah,
it's already over.
Like, gymnastic, they do like individuals, and then Simone Biles will be on vault, and she'll get either bronze, silver, probably gold. But this is like a team, so they have a 4.
I see.
And so like Suni Lee did the uneven bars. Simone Biles did. So it's a group of 4, and that's so they won team gold. If that makes it. So it's like a group of the U.S. best.
But then there are other U.S. gymnasts.
But there are. So like Simone Biles will have an individual competition. This is a team competition.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to.
Now I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with the scheduler, just because like I feel like the team one should be last.
Yeah,
you do all the individual.
You think, right?
The team one will be last because I feel like a Team USA win means more than like a Simone Biles win or a Suni Lee. I think is her name win. But yeah, okay.
That makes sense.
I remember I saw that they won gold, and I was like, already?
Like, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, damn, this is going quick.
Yeah. But okay, so women, they won gold. Dominance continues.
Yeah. Not shocking.
Not shocking at all. Men, bronze.
Yeah, so they had a bronze. The reason this was such a big deal is obviously US is dominated by women's gymnastics in the grand scheme of gymnastics. Bronze, it was their first medal in 16 years. So that's why it was such a big deal. Is obviously highlighted by the Clark Kent of US. Pommel horse hero is what they are calling him. I'm gonna butcher his name and I apologize. Stephen Nedorosik. Is that how you say that?
Classic American name. Oh wow.
Nedorosik. So yeah, nerdy looking dude.
Look, U.S. men's gymnastics pommel horse guy.
Yeah. Wearing glasses, stud. The
Clark Kent glasses.
He kind of killed it. Kind of secured the win for men's gymnastics, getting that bronze. Yeah,
he knew his role to be on that pommel horse.
That's what, and that was his only event, which is unheard of. Usually, you have gymnasts that can do a couple events, but he was the pommel horse specialist. So
there you go.
Yeah, super cool.
There you go. And then other Team USA news. Looks like we won a medal in women's rugby.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. I see we beat Australia.
I believe it is Australia. Yep.
Dude, beating Australia in rugby?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy. It was the first ever USA medal in rugby sevens. It was actually electric. If you haven't looked up the highlights of this one, it basically came down to the last 8 seconds. Alex Cedric got a ball, I guess that's a ball is what they call it. I'm not sure, but she had to get across Australia's goal line and put up 5 game timing points. Again, don't really know the rules of rugby, but what I saw by like US rugby accounts is it was equivalent to taking a 99-yard run in football.
Shout out Alex.
So Alex Cedric, she's nice. Another girl that has been trending on Twitter for just being an absolute unit is Alona Maher. Look up her highlight tape. Her highlight ILLONAMA.
You lost me already.
ILLONA space.
Okay. Alona Maher. Okay, I got her.
She's a dog.
Yeah, she looks like she can run through a lot of people.
Yeah. So it's super cool.
This is Derrick Henry reaction to
it. Nice. Yeah, but it's super cool.
Now I did look up what a rugby ball is called. I don't think you would ever get this. What it's actually called.
Probably not.
It's called the pill.
The pill? That's so lit.
It's kind of rock.
That's lit. Dude,
but yeah, it's called the pill.
The pill.
Yeah,
absolutely electric.
Pass the pill.
Pass the pill, bro. You want to go pass the pill outside?
That's great. But yeah,
that's electric.
Shout out to rugby team. I think that's all I got.
Those are kind of the biggest. The U.S. did become the first country to cross 3,000 medals. I feel like it's that bad that I feel like that's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have guessed more, but obviously we're the first one to do it, so it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
yeah, I think I would have guessed, for sure.
so yeah,
Well,
that's our in-depth Olympic talk, man.
yeah.
Okay, so put in perspective. So ahead of this year's games, the foundation that the U.S. was followed in the rankings by the Soviet Union with 1,200 medals and Germany with 1,058.
Holy. So wait, does the Soviet Union count like Russia?
I assume so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say unless they like Soviet Union from
Yeah.
1930 to 1990, and then
They got ran shit then.
then
I assume so.
then Russia. I don't know. Do you see Russia anywhere on there? Or
No,
okay, yeah, that would make sense. That Russia.
I
would be
assume so.
second.
Yeah.
We have more than double. It said there were 1,200 in second.
Yeah,
More
1,200.
than double.
That's insane.
Almost triple.
But like, when you, how many athletes do we have competing compared to like other countries? You know,
Yeah, I don't know how many. But I
but
know Russia has more people than we do. So
jeez, this is so
actually, is that
golds only. We have 1,179. Obviously, this is all before this year's. Followed by the Soviet Union with 473. Jeez, this is insane.
I lied. Strike it from the record.
Oh man,
Russia does not have more people than we do. We have
lied.
nearly triple people Russia has. So that's
tough. That's tough. But yeah, that wow. When you compare it to like, damn. But yeah, we're kicking ass, taking names.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, women's basketball also kicked the shit out of Japan.
God.
But that was
as good as dominant as good as we are in men's basketball. Women's basketball.
Women's dominates.
A whole other can of worms. They kick everyone's ass. It's a shame they couldn't beat the WNBA All Stars, but they did. They do kick everyone's ass internationally. I mean, obviously, you know, there's a difference in the league because there's just way more people in the NBA. There are more teams, but I can't name you one international women's basketball player.
I can't either.
Uh,
I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah,
I know there's like a 7'3" girl, and
yeah, I do know that.
I do know that. That's about it,
She
though.
doesn't play in WNBA, does she?
No, I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but
all right, let's see.
Pretty sure.
139. Oh, come on. This is good podcasting from us.
Great podcasting.
All right. I was trying to look up how many WNBA players are in the Olympics, but
probably not a lot.
All of you know, Team USA, but
wow. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought?
But yeah, Olympics still going on. Will be for like the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So hey, we'll hit it back with another recap. I know you're dying for our Olympics recap. The way we just absolutely killed it right there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll check back again in 2 weeks on the Olympic circuit. But MLB deadline.
Yeah.
Today. A whole lot of moves. That's what the MLB deadline is great. For a lot of, I think generally speaking, it's the most active deadline, just because the nature of baseball as a sport, the main trade chip is not picks, it's prospects, and MLB teams have 5-6 minor league teams, each with, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60 players. So they have no shortage of prospects that people are always willing to sell. Also, the amount of pitchers and players, players that are needed in a game, in a baseball game, like, there's sometimes 15 players that will play.
Mm-hmm.
And the roster is only 26, so each one is each much more valuable. So all that being said, the MLB deadline is the most active, and it's for a baseball fan, it's obviously my favorite because I like the sport and it's the most active.
Who
But we
would
had
thought?
some big names on the move. What'd you say?
Who would thought?
Who would have thought, right? We had some big names on the move. Touch on some of the big ones because I mentioned how active it is. A lot of it is just random relievers that no one's ever heard of. And you look at them, I was like, oh, he's got a 2.7 ERA. This guy looks pretty good. Um, but so the big ones, the big fish, happened today about maybe like a half an hour or so before the deadline. The Dodgers, they got Jack Flaherty, the starting
Huge.
pitcher from the Tigers. Of course, you may remember him. May remember him from his time with the Cardinals when he was best. Then last year got traded from the Cardinals to the Orioles at the deadline. Then signed with the Tigers, having a great year thus far with the Tigers, and just now traded to the Dodgers, a team that is desperately in need of pitching help, and they got it. Of course, they have no shortage of prospects, as is the case with the Dodgers always. Randy Arozarena, of course, remember him from the 2020 playoff run he had with the Rays when they made it to the World Series that year. He got traded to the Mariners. Again, a team desperately in need for offense help. Their offense is absolutely abysmal, and their pitching is really good. So getting any sort of offensive help really was needed for the Mariners. One that was called on this podcast. We gave Brandon so much crap for getting basically everything wrong in the NBA playoff preview. We got a shout out. He absolutely nailed this. Jazz Chisholm from the Marlins to the Yankees. Of course, MLB The Show legend Jazz Chisholm was on the cover of the game a year or two ago. The best reliever on the move, Tanner Scott, the closer for the Marlins. He was traded to the Padres. AJ Preller, of course, the GM for the Padres, always known for pushing the chips in, whether it be the Juan Soto trade 2 years ago and other trades throughout. The Padres will always be buyers. Sam, your Cubs getting in the mix. Isaac Paredes, one of the better bats available from the Rays. He got traded to the Cubs for Christopher Morel, which kind of sucks because I always like Christopher Morel because young player. Saw him multiple times in AAA, of course, AAA here in Iowa. So kind of sucks to see him go. But yeah, he's going to Tampa Bay, and if there's ever a place where a player like that can flourish, it's definitely going to be Tampa Bay. Eloy Jimenez, of course, the big bat from the White Sox, who seem to fell off the face of the earth. He's going to Baltimore. Could always use some more bats. And then Jesse Winker, just a corner outfielder. He's having a very good season, about a 130 OPS plus so far this year. He's been, in and around, had good years, bad years, but he went to the Mets. They just got a little bit bolster that corner outfield bat a little bit. But those are some of the headlines. Obviously a ton of other people were moved. Not going to sit here and name them all, but those were the ones that stood out.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed that Jazz was kind of the biggest fish that was fried.
Nice.
So
Marlins.
You
Biggest
like that?
Fish.
You like that?
What up?
Yeah.
What up?
It's just what I do. But yeah, it wasn't surprising. I mean, Brandon called it, so shout out Brandon.
Yeah, he did. So those were definitely the big ones. But shall I move on to some football talk? Of course, that we're going to talk about some receiver because we watched the receiver show. And yeah, well, I mean, what did you think? What did you think of the show?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I tend to like those kind of shows. I've always watched damn near any sports documentary. I'm usually watching it. I don't think is as good as quarterback. But obviously some things happened that was kind of out of their control. Injuries, that kind of stuff. So that I think that definitely affected this season for sure. But I enjoyed it. Got to see personalities we don't really see a whole lot, like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Devontae Adams. You don't really see them in that limelight a whole lot. So that was really cool seeing. But obviously the star of the show, in my opinion, was George Kittle, former Hawkeye. So God love that.
He just
Yeah,
rocks.
he's so
He's
cool.
so goofy. He's so cool all in one. You see him for his birthday or around Christmas time. And what is George Kittle, the starting tight end for the San Francisco 49ers, who were I mean, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but probably the most talented team in football last year.
Yeah,
Guy who's an absolute sicko. He's pancaking people. He's laughing in their faces, almost like Joker-esque.
yeah.
What does he get for Christmas? Legos.
Legos.
And it's funny. I was talking to my mom about it, and it came out right about the time around the 4th of July, and we went to see some family. And part of it were some of my younger cousins,
Yeah.
beneath the age of 10. My mom just goes, George Kittle got the Lego set that me and your cousin were looking at, who's like 5 years old. That's awesome. Yeah, George Kittle gets it like that. That rocks.
That is
I mean,
cool.
yeah, he's has no one has more fun playing football than George Kittle. But I agree. I agree with everything you said. It sounds weird because we are notoriously not Hard Knocks people.
Yeah.
But anytime, for some reason, I can't get into Hard Knocks, but pretty much any other time you give me a documentary showing a sport that I like and people during the season and a recap of the season and watch their reactions and get it, you see the locker room and the coach's speeches and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to watch and I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mentioned
that is true. We love like quarterback, full swing, that kind of stuff, but we don't like Hard Knocks.
Never got in. I don't know if it's just like something around a team, like, because some of the stuff with like the GMs like in the offseason can be pretty interesting. I just don't really care about the Giants that much. But I like to see star players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really some of the GM negotiations with like Saquon look pretty interesting. Like,
yeah,
5-minute clip I saw.
The clips I tend to watch it. Yeah,
just show about it. But yeah, anytime you give me that, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I mentioned last time I was lucky enough. I mean, they've done quarterback and receiver, 2 Vikings in each, so I was particularly invested in each of those. Which
0
is
Cowboys, which is crazy.
0 Cowboys, yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, great show.
But yeah,
I do. Agree. You know what? Last episode when your mom asked if you could trade spots with an athlete for a day. Yeah. I think I want to change my answer to George Kittle.
Yeah,
dude, he is just a man. I mean,
loves
life. Everyone loves him. I feel like there hasn't been a bad story about him. So that's my revised answer for Zerk, especially after that crazy haircut by Burrow. Yeah, that's tough.
That was almost an honorable mention for loser.
Yeah.
However, I figured on a sports podcast, the loser should be more than someone getting a haircut. So I decided to go away from it. But yes, the haircut by Burrow was tough.
For sure.
Yeah. But I do agree, talking about receiver, I do agree. I think quarterback was better. I just think the position of the quarterback is more interesting. They have more stuff to say. Yeah. And you talk to like Devontae Adams, which I liked. Obviously, I enjoyed. He's not getting the ball. There's only so much you can do, and like Aiden O'Connell is your quarterback, right? But listening to some of these quarterbacks who are the ones going through every play, all that stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely more interesting. But as you said, the highlighted some players. I mean, particularly, I love that you said Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know, like, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a fantastic wide receiver, top 10 wide receiver. I would have said that before the show. I don't know anything about him, other than his brother, and they have stupid names, like Equanimous or something.
Yeah.
And his dad's name's John, which is awesome. But I couldn't really name anything about him, so it was really interesting to see that. Deebo Samuel also, another one. Didn't know a damn thing about him. Embarrassed, hand up. I didn't even know he went to South Carolina until I watched the show.
Jeez.
Hand up.
Hand up too.
We're the trust tree here. But yeah, I didn't know he went to South Carolina, so that was kind of cool to see too. Those two in particular.
Yeah.
With the Iowa connection. Like, I loved Kittle. I want to see more Kittle. I had an inkling what I would get from Kittle. But the other two I had no idea. It was really
like Amon-Ra, like his ability to just go from English to German.
Yeah, that's crazy.
His mom was insane.
Crazy. If you would have bet, like, you told Amon-Ra St. Brown speaks fluent German, I'd be like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah, and I think my favorite clip. I mean, I loved every part George Kittle, but Devontae Adams when he's at his daughter's birthday party and like no one knows who he is. I thought that was so funny.
That's hilarious. I always think about that, like just with like with Devontae, his daughter's birthday party. Other parents come up and it's like he's like, "Hi, I'm Devontae," and they're like, "Oh, you're I don't know whatever his daughter's name is.
Yeah.
You're what's her name? Dad." It's like my mom. You're freaking Devontae Adams, receiver for the Raiders. In their eyes, it's just his daughter's dad. You do, yeah. I sell insurance. What do you do? I play football. It's so funny. Also seeing Devontae Adams, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. All that, and then he's playing dinosaurs with his daughter. At her birthday party. So that rocked. Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome to see what NFL players do when they're not playing football, just because they're so idolized and they play a kid's game. So
you get those different ages. Like you have Amon-Ra and Justin, who are the younger. Then Devontae Adams and Debo kind of been in the league a while. And there's so many. Like Devontae has a kid, and Justin Jefferson has like modest house eating candy forever.
Yeah. And the Irish chef, so he would stop eating candy.
So funny. I was like that. He's what, 20, 21, something like that.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
That's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, I mean it's awesome. We can talk about it all day, but I agree with everything you said about it, how it compares to quarterback, and everything about that. So we thought with receiver, we'd rank our top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. You want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I have to give an honorable mention here. So honorable mention, just on the outside looking in, I do have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just what he's done in such a short amount of time is freaking incredible.
This could be bad because I also have Amon-Ra St.
Brown. Okay. So. Number 5, gotta have CeeDee Lamb. Okay. At 5. 4, I have Devontae Adams. I think he is one of the, believe it or not, I think he's a top 5 wide receiver.
Hot take.
Number 3, this is a guy that isn't talked about a lot in these type of conversations. I think is probably, well, obviously I think this, but I think he deserves more recognition for what he's done in his career. I'm going to go with Mike Evans at 3.
Didn't expect that.
Mike Evans at 3. I mean, he's had over 1,000 yards every year he's been in league. And he's had a lot of, I mean, he had Tom Brady, Baker, and I couldn't tell you who was before Tom.
Jameis Winston, I think.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's incredible. Just a testament to how underrated he is as a football player.
Exactly.
Didn't even cross my mind.
And then number 2, I have Deebo Samuel.
Wow.
Just his versatility, passing, running, playing decoy. And then number 1, I got Jay Jettis. Number 1.
That's a crazy list.
You like that?
Okay, this is not gonna be bad. This is gonna be good. So wow, that is interesting. Okay, so number 6, for me, I do also have Amon-Ra St. Brown. But number 5, I'm going to go with, I don't believe you said this guy. I personally still think he's got it in one of the top 5. He just made an interesting career decision, and that's going to be Devontae Adams. I know we just saw him in quarterback, but I mean, this dude has been. I mean, when he was with Rodgers, he was the best wide receiver in the league. With his current quarterback situation, it's gone down, but I still think he's as good as it gets at the wide receiver position. And his mix of everything: speed, height, route running, hands, the all-around package. So I'm gonna put him at 5. Number 4 is actually someone you didn't mention.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Tyreek.
No.
Okay.
My number 4 is actually Jamar Chase. Because I mean, he's really good at football. That's why. I I love Jamar Chase's game. I obviously think he's really good at football and speed. And a wise birdie told me once that Jamar Chase is always open. He's always effing open. And so I'm going to go with Jamar at 4. Number 3, I think somehow this person is still underrated. This is someone you said, someone who's looking to get paid. CeeDee Lamb is the all-around package for a wide receiver. I am so high on CeeDee Lamb as an actual football player. Height, speed. Anytime we get to any of these guys, they're going to be, they're going to have all the the total package, but specifically CeeDee, height and speed and hands, all that stuff. He just a fantastic wide receiver. So good. Number 2 is going to be the one that you didn't mention. My 2 is going to be Tyreek Hill. You just can't catch him. You just can't catch him. And I know, it's when you do something so good and because you're so good at this one thing, no one can guard you, catch you. He's borderline unguardable. But the true unguardable, as you said, number 1, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
So those are my 5. If I had to keep going, 6 Amon-Ra. I think I'm going to go 7 Mike Evans, 8 Debo.
Really? That's spicy.
Yeah, so I'm happy we had some different.
Yeah,
because for a second there I thought maybe we wouldn't, but yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Let us know what your top 5 wide receivers are.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Jamar Chase.
I forgot about it. In fairness, I'd love to say that I had Mike Evans at 7 and Debo at 8 at the time. It popped in my mind when you said something. But yeah, I mean, we had some difference, so that's good stuff. But
then you got guys like Cooper Kupp who just didn't play. Who just did play last year.
2 years play last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Stuff out here.
Yeah, it's all right. He's tough to rank with his his health issue last year. But
I mean, another guy, obviously not the player he was, but DeAndre Hopkins, another one I thought of. There's a couple more, but yeah.
It's a deep position.
Yeah. Believe it or not, when there's like 4 on the field at all times,
there are a lot of good
ones. Deep.
There are a lot of good ones, no doubt about it. But I think it's time for a Gimme 5, Sam. So in a complete whiplash, we'll head to our Gimme 5. We mentioned before we were doing the Gimme 5 of worst TV characters. Now it's interesting because worst could mean so many different things: annoying, poorly written, just straight up evil. But sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. So it's obviously how we each had our unique takes on it.
Yeah.
So I think
I think it's mine.
Yeah, I think you go first with your 1-1 in the worst TV show characters or movie characters.
TV and movie, yes. Right? Okay, just wanted to make that clear. Number 1, probably one of the most hated characters of all time, Joffrey Baratheon.
Yes, great.
Yeah, great Game of Thrones. Everyone hates him. He was the most hated character. The actor actually quit acting. So, yep, that's my 1-1. Pretty easy pick for me there.
Yeah, great pick. No, it's definitely obviously was on my list. Yeah, he sucks. That character sucks. I mean, great acting job. It sucks that people can't separate acting performances from the actor. But yeah, the actor was great, but the character is just awful.
Yeah, he sucked.
Okay. So for my 1-1, easy 1-1 for me. This guy wasn't evil. He was just stupid, annoying, poorly written. One of the biggest misses in all character history, Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks.
I had that.
Nice.
Yeah, you like that? You like that?
Yes, of course. Wars. But Jar Jar Binks, awful character. And the worst part about it is like the thing like with some of these, it's like we hate Joffrey Baratheon, but like we're supposed to hate Joffrey Baratheon.
Mm-hmm.
Jar Jar was supposed to be this like comedic relief that everyone loved. The biggest misstep of all time. Completely screwed it up. So Jar Jar Binks, number 1.
Yeah.
And then number 2, so I had this slot here. I figured you were going to go one of these 2 people, 1-1. You and Joffrey. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Ramsey Bolton.
Yep.
They're 1 and 2. They're 1 and 2.
Yeah, for sure.
And every, during my research, of course, you got to check the internet and see what people say. And like every list of most hated characters,
Oh my God.
1 and 2,
Yep.
Joffrey,
Yep.
Ramsay. So I'll go Ramsay.
Yep. That's a good one. That's a good pick. Now, this is going to be a little controversial because it is one of the most popular shows of all time. Give me Ross Geller. Oh my God. That I know that's a spicy pick because it's such a popular show. But holy shit, is he annoying. Probably one of my least favorite characters of all time.
Yeah, I think more people might agree with you on that than you may originally.
Yeah.
Think.
I'm just worried about the popularity of the show itself. But that's fair. Ross Geller, number 2. And our first movie character from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Grandpa Joe.
Oh,
that dude sucks. That guy
sucks.
Oh, I'm not going to contribute to the family. Let me just lay in bed here. Oh, golden ticket, Charlie? Let me go and walk and fly and
yeah, that guy sucks.
That dude was the worst.
That's a great pick. That guy sucks. What? That wasn't on my list. That's a great pick. Man, yeah, I got to come back from that. So, okay, I've got a good one here. I got this character might be the epitome of evil. Just the worst. Everyone hates her. I'm going to go with Professor Umbridge from Harry Potter.
Yep.
The worst. So
yeah,
nasty.
She sucked.
She tortured Harry, had to write his name and got basically wrote on his skin, tortured the kids. Just the worst. I feel like everyone absolutely hates her, and I'm no different. So I'm gonna go with Professor Umbridge in the 3 slot, and then for my 4th pick, another one commonly disliked. I don't think I'm gonna get much support from you. I don't think you've seen this, but universally hated, Skylar White from Breaking Bad.
That is one I saw a lot.
Skylar White from Breaking Bad, wife of Walter White. She's the worst. She's just the worst.
Yeah.
She's just the worst.
From the few episodes I did watch, she sucks.
She sucks, dude. She sucks.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
So Skylar White is in my 4 spot.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Common pick I saw doing some research. For my 4th pick, I'm going to go my boy Caillou. The most annoying character of all time. Caillou. He was, if you go back and watch, I'm like, dude, chill, bro. So give me Caillou at number 4. Now, number 5. This is where things get a little interesting.
He's thinking.
God, there's so many good ones still on the board. Where do I go here? Hopefully this doesn't bite me. Another character from the Game of Thrones universe. Kristen Cole. Dude sucks. Dude is awful. Literally, I feel like throughout this series, you're just like, oh, this is the episode he's gonna die. Lives. So give me Kristen Cole from House of Dragons.
Damn, loading up on the thrones. I mean, it's just like in every single list you look at, everyone in like. There's even one more. I think that's a candidate for this.
Yeah,
that we could pick. But from my last pick, I got a few options here. I think I'm gonna go. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this guy was supposed to be a replacement for one of the most beloved characters. It didn't work. Didn't last very long. Give me D'Angelo Vickers.
That was one I was debating.
Will Ferrell on The Office. Did not work. Didn't
That's
last
a good
very
pick.
long. He sucked.
I like that pick
He
a
sucked.
lot. That was one of the few I was actually looking at, so that's hilarious
Let's
that
go.
you picked that. But got any honorable mentions, man?
Oh yeah, I got a couple here. Now what this one was more of a niche one. I don't. Were you a Full House kid growing up? I
Yeah,
love Full
I
House.
was.
Kimmy
Kimmy,
Gibbler,
yeah,
the
she sucked.
worst. The
She
worst.
sucked.
Honorable mention. Wanted to punch her in the face every time. A show you brought up, Friends. Janice,
Yep.
the worst.
Yeah, she sucked
The
as
worst.
well.
Uh,
Believe it or not, a lot of these characters that you're gonna
yeah,
mention suck.
they suck. Yeah. And now have you seen the original Spider-Man with
Yep.
Tobey Maguire?
Yep.
The MJ, played by
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, she sucked.
The worst.
Yeah,
Oh my
not
God.
great.
Dude, oh man, every movie, you're just like, I'm in love with you. No, I'm in love with you. No, I'm with them. I'm with that. Now I'm married to that. Shut up, you
Yeah.
dumb idiot. Yeah, she was the
Yeah,
worst.
she sucked.
She
She
sucked
sucked
so bad.
for sure.
Wow. So yeah, those were my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I got a lot. Honestly, you could have just done Game of Thrones characters
Yes.
alone.
Yes.
I had Joffrey, you had Ramsey. Could put Littlefinger in there. Cersei,
Cersei. Yep. Cersei's what I was thinking of.
Clubfoot, House of Dragon. He sucks.
Yeah, he kind of actor rocks for
he as hated as those characters are, the actors and actresses are freaking unbelievable. I also saw one doing research the young Viserys in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Daenerys.
Daenerys' brother.
Yep. But outside of Game of Thrones world, I have.
Not gonna repeat about his.
Yep.
But he. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Just nuts.
This one was one I was debating on throwing in at my 5. I know he's liked in this show, but Nathan Shelley, Ted Lasso. Just how he did Ted Lasso so dirty.
Yeah, it took a lot to get him back in our good graces.
Yeah,
for sure. Which sucked because I was a huge Nathan fan before it all went down.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah,
I was a fan of him before it all went down, and then he left, and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I didn't throw him in at 5 because he was such a beloved character. And this is from one of my favorite shows, Julie Taylor. If you've seen Friday Night Lights, you know why she sucks. Now this is a movie that doesn't have any names. So when I was doing research, his name was Know It All. It was the blonde kid from Polar Express.
Oh God.
With the glasses.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So he was honorable mention.
Gives me the creeps, bro.
It is a little creepy. If you've seen Parenthood, Christina Braverman, she sucked. I did have D'Angelo Vickers on. This is going to come with some controversy. These kind of next couple. Schmidt from New Girl.
Oh wow.
Was not a fan.
Interesting.
Debbie Gallagher from Shameless, another one. I saw some other Vernon Dursley, the caretaker of Harry Potter. From All American, I've Coop, she sucks. Draco Malfoy. I mean, I think that's kind of a given. From what I've seen of this show, she was like one of the worst characters. Now you've seen this show in entirety, so you might have but Wendy Bird from Ozark, she sucks. Yeah, she's a nasty
woman.
And then on the kid side of things, I had Hans from Frozen. That dude was slimy. And then Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco. That dude sucks. So I had a lot of worst characters for sure, but I like my 5.
Some more like I had Skylar White, her sister in the show. It's like a Joffrey Ramsey situation.
Yeah,
1A,
1B
in terms of hated in that show. Her name was Marie Schrader. She was the worst. Also, obviously, Skylar White was the worst.
Yeah.
I really like the Vernon Dursley pick, of course. Even some like other ones in The Office, because like towards the end they got kind of like the British girl from I don't even know her name. She was the one that sucked.
like honestly, majority of like the newer characters in The Office.
Yeah, the
Uh,
interns, like I don't even remember what they call
I
them.
know. Were you a fan of Robert California? Yeah.
I love James Spader more than anything. I swear, James Spader might be my favorite actor. I
Yeah.
don't like Robert California.
Yeah. I was not a fan of his.
No, I don't like Robert California. The guy. What the hell's his name?
What show?
Off The Office. He was from Saber.
Yep.
Uh,
Tall.
yes,
Yep.
he was the guy from. The actor was the guy from Silicon Valley. Man, why can't I think of his name?
Look it up. Oh,
And I saw, it's a fine line between like these characters sucking and them sucking and but also being funny. And you're like
yeah.
Todd Packer is one of those. I personally find him
Uh-huh.
kind of funny, so I left him off. Um, but
You know a lot of Gabe.
Gabe, that's his name. That guy sucked.
A lot. I saw a lot of ones I don't really agree with. Andy Bernard was one
Yeah,
I saw a
I like
lot.
Andy a lot.
From How I Met Your Mother, I saw a lot of Robin Scherbatsky, which they were like she was super selfish. I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but like
Okay.
that's her character.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think we got good lists though.
yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Yeah, I don't really know. I think that's good. I think that's a good. Yeah, it's a good way to wrap up the Give Me Five. Of course, vote who list you thought was better. Obviously, let us know who you think some of your least favorite TV show and movie characters are. But before we wrap up the episode, we do have a question. It's an interesting question. Had to put our thinking caps on for this one. This one is from my mom. So she asks, she wants us to create a new Summer Olympic event by combining any two current summer events. And she asked that we do not use like some of the more mainstream sports that we played, like basketball,
Yep.
soccer, and baseball.
Yeah, this is a fun question. I like this question a lot. Do you have an
I
answer off
do
the bat?
just because what I think would be just borderline impossible, and I kind of want to see if people can do it.
What's that?
So it's going to be water polo
Water polo. Okay.
and archery.
That'd be
So
crazy.
you gotta be the.
Uh-huh.
But the only part of water polo that we're going to take is being in
water.
being in really deep water. So you have
Okay.
to tread.
Yeah.
We're not like shooting bows at each other to score goals, but treading water. Something obviously you have to have the steadiest of hand, but doing so while you're bobbing and trying to tread water. I feel like if anyone can do that, that would be the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. That'd be insane. That's a good one.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
It can go pretty poorly pretty quick. But yeah, I think that would be sick if you
Yeah.
those two.
Yeah, that's good. That's a really good one. I mean, hmm.
May have him stumped.
This is a good
We
one.
may
I
have him
mean,
stumped.
I think anything with like trampoline, supposedly that's
Oh, really?
an Olympic sport. I feel like
Huh.
anything combined with that would be kind of electric. Like like boxing with trampoline.
Oh,
Like sign me up. Let's go. She said don't use a mainstream sport though. Cause like hockey and handball on ice. Sign me up.
yeah. Well, yeah.
This is a good question.
Like, what about trampoline and like table tennis?
That's why I was thinking. I was thinking that, yeah.
Trampoline and weightlifting.
All right. I think I got my answer. Because this would just be wacky as shit. Give me equestrian and breaking. As in breakdancing.
How?
how that would work. I do
Yeah,
not
break
know.
dance on a
They
horse.
dance on the horse as they're jumping over shit. Because why? It's a little wacky, ain't it?
Funky.
Or maybe like cycling and boxing. There we go. Cycling and boxing.
So you're
As you're right, you just beating the shit out of somebody.
actually great.
That's my
That's
vote.
great.
Cycling and boxing.
That's great. So yeah, when you're running, someone runs up to you, like the Mario Kart where you
Yeah.
punch.
Uh-huh. That's my official answer for sure.
That kind of rocks. That kind of rocks. Oh man. What about also boxing and fencing?
Boxing and fencing. That'd be good. That'd be crazy.
Start out with the sabers, then
Mhm.
again you're just tussling.
Yes.
I like the idea of like just taking pretty much insert sport here and putting it on trampoline or in water, like
Yeah.
badminton in the water. Like
Yeah.
like that could be kind of fun.
So like obviously shooting is a sport. Is that just like targets? I've never watched sailing and shooting.
Is that like because archery is different, right?
I
So-
think it's guns because that's part of the pentathlon or whatever it's called. I mean, wrestling and trampoline would be crazy. Like, but I
Can we
think
get like a octagon or like what the thing WWE does? Like is it where they like lock you in?
Yeah.
But it's just like trampoline. So you can, like bounce off the wall.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
Slam someone down. Oh, that would be pretty cool. If we could do mainstream, one I would do just because I've played it before. I don't know if you used to play this in gym when you were growing up, but
Yeah.
it was basically a combination of soccer and handball.
Yeah.
So you could do either, but if you kick there was a standard goal, but if you played soccer and you kicked it in, it was worth 2 points. If you threw it in, it was worth 1. Obviously,
Yeah.
soccer harder. So I think that could be pretty fun. But I kind of like our
Yep.
sailing and boxing.
How would that?
It's just boxing, but it's on the sailboat. It's
Yeah.
you're not fighting people with different sailboats. You're on the same sailboat.
There you
You gotta
go.
knock them in the water.
I like it. Dude, Olympic Committee, we are available.
We're available. Oh man, that rocks.
Oh my god, that's good. Yeah. So cycling and boxing is my official answer.
I just love that putting boxing with someone like imagine these incredibly unique and intricate martial arts with
Mhm.
taekwondo, and then you just put boxing.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to do some taekwondo move, beating them. Oh man, rowing.
Rowing.
Can you use the paddle as oh man,
Synchronized swimming and boxing because why not?
synchronized boxing.
I think we're onto something.
I think we are too. That was a lot. I tell you what, that was a great way to end the episode.
Absolutely.
Just going through all these scenarios of what we can mix with boxing, water polo, or trampoline, which probably is one.
Yeah.
Golf, dude. Boxing and golf.
No, why not? Why not golfing and skateboarding? What you?
We gotta hit it off skateboard. Wow.
That'd be crazy. There's so many. There's so many ways.
Synchronized golfing.
Diving and equestrian.
Oh,
What you know about?
you gotta dive with the horse. My goodness.
I'd watch these Olympics. Let me
Is it
tell you.
the horse. Oh, what about equestrian rugby?
Oh,
Rugby, but
Polo? Polo without the stick.
It's fitting after all the Game of Thrones talk, dude. It's just like a battle of Game of Thrones. There's just horses and people piled onto each other. Oh man, that rocks! What a great question. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, that was a great one. But that's gonna wrap it up for episode 137 of Crunch Time. Talked about a lot in today's episode. Of course, Olympics, talked about the deadline, receivers, did our give me 5. Of course, we always want to know what is your top 5 least favorite or worst TV and movie characters. And then, of course, finished with our question. Obviously, we got to know what you guys what's your favorite. What's your idea for mixing to Summer Olympic sports? But make sure to follow the podcast on YouTube, Crunch Time with the N326 Duo. And of course, follow us on Twitter, X, TikTok, and Instagram at crunchtime_pod. But the clock has run out on this episode, and we'll see you in the next one on Crunch Time.
Ear.